Welcome in everybody to the tournament. We are here. It's Battle RC, Mortal Night Gaming Battle RC Tournament Series number 1. We're in tournament 4 of 5 leading into our championship round. We have 2 tournaments left and our point board looks the way it does. These scores, these ranks are accurate to a T through all of these competitions. If you haven't seen, we had qualifying rounds that lasted for around 9 hours on Twitch. You can check out those videos here on this channel before you ever even see these ones. So welcome into the show. Thank you for tuning in. And so far this week, we're looking at Nice being in first point. Pinpoint Redux winning the last tournament gave him 11 points. He went from bottom of the barrel to second in line and almost certainly a qualification. However, Generator is coming up there with a +8, coming in second. 2 Pinpoint Redux last tournament. Jackpot at +5, Toxic Drake at +4, Witch Doctor at +3, Clyde at +3, and Behemoth squeaking in there at +3. Witch Doctor placed barely ahead of Clyde, really tied with Clyde in my opinion, and Behemoth is just a little bit below Witch Doctor. However, Lynx back out of the top 8 in number 9. That will guarantee him a slot at tournament 2, but we are not hopeful for Lynx so far in this tournament. He's only gained 2 points. Double Time's only gained 2 points. Blip has been a defensive nightmare. He's gone back to his old ways. We were hoping to see the new aggressive offensive Blip, but we just have not seen that throughout these tournament series. Atomic 2 has been aggressive, but they just have not been able to manage to get that lifter underneath their opponent in time throughout this tournament series. It seems though that these bots have actually gotten used to a strategy around Atomic 2. Orbitron, no luck there either. And of course, our last 3 have no points whatsoever to speak of. Emulsifier, which is the biggest surprise here, coming in as a fan favorite to win the tournament. Mobius, again, my personal favorite, one of my personal favorites, one of my personal picks to win the tournament. And Wanhu, 0 points. Those 3 are all but disqualified at this point in time. There's always a chance they could win a tournament, but at most they're looking at +3 points coming into the next round, +4 points going into the next round. At most. So with that being in consideration there, Drake or Generator could come up to a +12. If he wins, Jackpot could be at a +9 if he wins. But importantly, or if he comes up a runner-up, importantly, Lynx here, if he got a runner-up this tournament, he is looking at being a +6, which by today's standards right now would place him about 4 or 5. By the end of this tournament, probably about 4 through 6. So he's got a chance here. He's just, runner-up is the only means for these guys. Mobius here, if he wins a tournament, he's in 10. He's even just sitting at 10 and never winning another match. That's going to sit him right here in third automatically if Generator, especially if Generator gets eliminated first round. It's all about points here, and even if you're at 0 with a 5 tournament schedule and a 10-point win, you could still manage to get into the championship round. So let's go ahead and get a look at our bracket. Let's see how everybody's set up and who drew who today. Thank you for tuning in. All right, and into our bracket we go. We can see here last week's champion Pinpoint Redux is taking on Double Time. Double Time has been a little bit of a disappointing feature here on the show. It's been plus, he's got 2 points, 2 wins for the tournament so far, but we expected much more out of a champion during the qualifying rounds. Behemoth versus Wanhu. Behemoth is holding a steady +3 in that 8 spot, and Wanhu is just hoping to make a point and stop Behemoth from moving up. That's all that Wanhu can really hope to do at this point, holding in at 0. Generator up against Blip. Generator is an aggressive bot, and Generator came in as a runner-up. It's also the 3rd highest point, and Blip is holding in at 11. So Blip needs a win against a tough competitor to be able to get pointed well enough to even get into the top 8. Our number 8 spot sitting at a +3. Clyde and Mobius coming in on each other there. Clyde is holding the 7th spot, while Mobius is holding the 15th spot. Still no wins for Mobius, but you can't ask for a better setup for Mobius going up against Clyde. I mean, Clyde's a quick bot, but he is a flame bot, so he's got to stay close, and Mobius to be able to get in and out with those quick hits. Nice coming up against Lynx. Nice holding that number 1 spot, and Lynx holding that number 9 spot. Lynx has only got 2 points on the tournament after 3 rounds. Nice has got 20, having won the first 2 tournaments. So you got to imagine that's going to be a sore case for Lynx. He's looking to put a stamp out there, and if he can eliminate Nice in the first round here and then win the tournament, he's looking at 12 points. He could pull himself easily into the 2nd place in just 1 tournament. Jackpot versus Atomic 2 is going to be an interesting matchup. Jackpot is bringing in the Shredder combination. He says that he's just wanting to give it a test out, so he's thrown it into this tournament. He's almost surely qualified at +5, but I wouldn't risk it, especially against Atomic 2. Toxic Drake against Obatron is going to be a classic matchup. Toxic Drake holding in that 5th spot, +4 points. Obatron dropping all the way to 13th with +1. They've only won 1 match, but it's still not as bad as Emulsifier. Emulsifier +0 coming into their match against a Witch Doctor, who's holding the 6th spot at a +3. Witch Doctor is barely hanging on to that number 6 spot as it is, so we'll see how Witch Doctor does when it comes to the Emulsifier tonight. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start tournament number 4. And let's see if we can't claim ourselves a new champion by the end of tonight. Let's see. We got this tournament. We've got 1 more tournament after this, and then I think we'll be crowning our champion tournament there. So we have 3 tournaments left. Tournament number 4 here is gonna be, it's gonna be rough for Pinpoint, our former champion, especially right off the bat here, because he's taking on Double Time, and Double Time is known to get those tines and to send bots flying in the air, not giving them a chance. But Pinpoint is managing to control Double Time. Double Time taking the brunt of the weight here. Pinpoint's looking for that elimination on Double Time, and Double Time, rightfully so, is powering down their motor for their weapon, hoping that'll give them a little bit of a break and momentum and not send them into the elimination zone. I can't believe that so quick. Double Time almost ended up there. It seemed like there was almost a malfunction there for him, and there goes the weapons up again. It looks like that malfunction is settled inside of the internals, and he can get his weapons going, but it might be too late. Pinpoint has been controlling this match since the get-go. He's got him hung up against the Augers right now as we speak, and Pinpoint is trying to get a good hammer shot drop down without exposing himself to a Double Time coming out of the air. Double Time was impressive through the preliminaries, winning a tournament on his own right off the bat, and coming into this, we really thought Double Time was going to end up taking a top spot early on. It's actually turned out to be quite the opposite. He had the odds stacked against him in the qualifying rounds whenever he won. He had 2 opportunities to be eliminated from this altogether, and it looks like he's just done it for almost nothing at this point. Double Time is almost out of his durability. You can hear his motor shutting off, turning on. He's not sure. We're not sure if his weapon's working, if it's not. He doesn't seem to be moving too well, though, and he is looking at his durability being just about lost. Pinpoint Redux has got the hammer drop, and it looks like, yep, there Double Time is going to fall to that hammer. If Pinpoint has any points to make, he's dancing around the arena now. He says, referee's got the countdown going. It looks like Double Time's not moving, and the Double Time is confirming they were, for the last 6 seconds of that round or so, that they had no control over that bot. It was powered down. The referee, I guess, could have started counting a lot sooner, really and honestly. We got Pinpoint Redux getting into that 2nd round of this first tournament, coming up again with another point. I mean, the winner of the last tournament he was in, and now we're looking at a potential back-to-back win again. Let's see. Pinpoint Redux surprising the crowd. Definitely going to end up in the championship series. Single elimination. You know the pressure's getting on these bots here as we come up to Behemoth and Wanhu. Behemoth needs a win here. He needs to get in that +4 tier minimum. And Wanhu, if he doesn't win here, then he might as well just quit. We might see Wanhu leave the arena altogether. Their team seems to be pretty frustrated with this tournament. But we'll see how professional these guys are. But Behemoth looks like they're having a lot of trouble out the gate with control. And Wanhu is looking for that. It's a Wanhu of old is what it is. He's taking pop shots. He's sending his opponent up in the air. He's looking for that elimination spot, and he is not getting off of him. It seems Behemoth brings out the best in all of our competition. Can Wanhu finally get a victory here tonight? Behemoth just absolutely going ape with that lifter. And we've seen it before. Every time he gets into these tournaments, if he goes ape with that lifter, he'll find himself over, and that's it. Wanhu is definitely eliminated. Wanhu went for that jump shot on Behemoth to shove him into there, and Behemoth managed to move out, jamming Wanhu up onto a perfect elimination spot for Behemoth to take advantage of. And Wanhu is eliminated in the first round once again. That's going to land him with +0, and we have confirmation that the Wanhu team is considering leaving after this tournament. Will they have a substitute come into the next tournament? You can't leave. You can't leave. Just because it doesn't matter if they're at 0 points. They have these competitors need to be able to have the opportunity to get their points. So we got Pinpoint Redux against Behemoth in the second round coming up. Behemoth should be the odds-in favorite here, but Pinpoint Redux has just proven time and time again that they deserve to be in that championship series. That will end up taking Pinpoint Redux up to 12 points. It'll bring Behemoth up to 4 points. Who's next? It's Nice, it's Lynx. We got to figure out who's going to win inside of this championship round tournament. Let's go. Nice and Lynx, both of you are battling for your futures here. Nice needs to hang on to its lead now that it's lost a tournament. Pinpoint Redux holding with that 18, but if Generator gets far enough, Generator could top out above Nice by the end of this tournament. Be at 18 by the end of round 5, tournament 5, I suppose. But we're looking right now at Nice versus Lynx, and Nice going in for the kill right off the bat, and Lynx just feeding him into those huge shredders. Just going up in the air and taking that massive damage. Lynx, if he could have got around behind Nice, he might have been able to stop him. Nice absolutely destroyed Lynx in this round. Lynx sitting with that +2, still in 9. And Nice jumping up to a 21 in that point on the scoreboard. I mean, it's impressive, really. It truly is. Even with that decreased damage, Dice just says, nope. We know how to play this. We know how to get most of these blades to hit them at once. And that's really all we need, is a massive amount of barrage of spinning blades to send those vibrations through your chassis and just to disconnect your batteries. But who's going to be taking on Nice? It's Atomic 2. It's Jackpot. Jackpot and Nice have got a rematch just about scheduled here, I think. We got Jackpot. We got Atomic 2. Let's go. And Nice is still the odds-in favorite to win the entire thing. Obviously, his damage is immense, but Jackpot here, he could put a stop to Nice if he ends up running through Atomic 2. It's just the problem is Atomic 2. Atomic 2 goes up in the air. He misses the flipper, and Jackpot, with that shredder combination, he's looking for that elimination. But no. Atomic 2 eliminating Jackpot, getting him onto the surface and moving on to the next round. That's going to put Atomic 2 in a 2-point range with his second win of this tournament series. And Jackpot is going to stay at 5 points. Oh, goodness. Atomic 2 coming in on 2 points. His performance hasn't been great up to this point, so we shouldn't really see him move too far out of his bracket. He will point up to the top of the 2s, but we're talking top 9 if he stops here. Atomic 2's really got to go for a run here. He's really got to get into the finals. At least he's got to become a runner-up. And next up we have Toxic Drake versus Obatron. Obatron is underperforming this tournament, so I'll be curious to see how he holds up in Tournament 4. In Tournament 1, 2, and 3, he just was not seeming to be himself. And Toxic Drake was on fire last tournament, so let's see if Toxic Drake can repeat last week's performance and take Obatron out. Because he's going to need that win. Toxic Drake ranked number 5 right now. Obatron ranked number 13. And Obatron goes across the arena. Toxic Drake is trying to get that flipper underneath him, but it looks like Obatron's landing some serious hits with that weapon. Now Toxic Drake is hung up on Obatron, and the referees are counting for Toxic Drake. He's got himself loose, thankfully for him. It, throwing Obatron onto its head and back up and over. It looks like Toxic Drake is wedged now in the arena, but Obatron looks like he can't move that last shot. Oh, he's back up and going, and back underneath the hammer for all that damage that a hammer can bring down. It's not going to be too much longer here, and we're going to be seeing a lot of crying and whining from Obatron. He's going to be busted in no time. He can't get out of that corner. Toxic Drake is just controlling this match from the ground with his flipper, slinging Obatron up against the wall, and Obatron has been officially destroyed. That is it for Obatron. Eliminated again in round 1. He's looking at sticking in that 1 point league, and at this point in time, I don't think, barring a win in the next tournament, Obatron's going to have a chance to get in the championship series. Meanwhile, Drake will move up to +5, tie-in, moving up to +5, holding on to his 5th rank, though, as Jackpot goes up to a +6 from earlier. Next up, in round 1 here, we've got Emulsifier and Witch Doctor. Hopefully it'll be an electrifying match, because Emulsifier has really underperformed whenever it comes to this tournament series. I don't know if the pressure is getting to him, since it's going to be his first championship here. I mean, either way, he's guaranteed a shot in Tournament Series 2, so we'll see Emulsifier in the qualifying rounds of 2. But Witch Doctor is looking to get on the board a little bit higher. They're holding a 6th spot with only 3 points. They need a win here. Whether Emulsifier likes it or not, they need a win. Will Emulsifier stay at 0? Witch Doctor end up staying at 3? We'll see. It's Witch Doctor. It's Emulsifier. It's next. Let's go. That Emulsifier has really came into the qualifiers kind of swinging. He was in the preliminaries winning matches and just about winning tournaments. He came up as a runner-up in the first qualifying round, and he has just not had that success since. Those points carried him well enough, and he had a couple of wins here and there that got him here, but Witch Doctor is definitely not going to take it easy on him. Emulsifier finding that hammer again. You can see the damage done onto that shell, and it's going to be lights out for Emulsifier if he keeps up getting hit by that hammer. He's controlling Witch Doctor now. It looks like he's looking for a possible elimination here, but he's taking advantage of Witch Doctor being hung up on these spikes right now. Emulsifier losing a little bit of control there, showing the wear and tear from getting hit by that hammer, and he's going over toward the other hammer now. Can he feed Witch Doctor into more hammers, more spikes? Emulsifier taking damage just about every time he hits Witch Doctor, because that blade on Witch Doctor is just finding him. These two vertical spinners are just after each other. Witch Doctor bringing in that shredder configuration. He might be regretting not having that control now that Emulsifier is kind of getting in a few good shots. Witch Doctor is looking the worse for wear here. Witch Doctor definitely has not maintained the control we've been seeing them maintain throughout the qualifying rounds throughout this tournament. Witch Doctor is definitely not bowling up to the standard that they usually do at this point in time. And Emulsifier taking shots from Witch Doctor now. Witch Doctor is staying on the aggressive, but that bigger blade on Emulsifier is just slinging Witch Doctor around this arena. They really need to get back into those forks. And Witch Doctor's team is signaling to us the forks are broken from the last time they used them, so they're working on getting another pair. They're hoping they can. We'll have to see. Tournament 5, we're going to have regular Shredder Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor's going to come out with those forks. They've been successful with the forks. Emulsifier really taking advantage of Witch Doctor here, having to lose part of their configuration early on in this tournament series. Emulsifier is pushing Witch Doctor against the wall here. You got to imagine that the refs are just waiting to be able to count Witch Doctor being hung up like that, but it doesn't look like Emulsifier is wanting to let go of Witch Doctor. Let's get a different angle here. We can see he's trying to slowly push Witch Doctor into that elimination zone. That's to guarantee the win, and it looks like Witch Doctor barely misses hitting the ground there. You definitely don't want this to go up to the judges for either one of these competitors, but it looks like it might with only 10 seconds left on the board. It's Witch Doctor, it's Emulsifier, and it oddly became the most electrifying match of the entire evening. And Witch Doctor taking the brunt of that damage. It's done. Witch Doctor's destroyed with 1 second left on the clock. If Witch Doctor could have held out there, the refs might have actually put Emulsifier as the loser there. We never know. Witch Doctor sticking at those 3 points. He's not going to budge at his 6. Position number 6 here, but Emulsifier surprising the crowd and moving up to a +1 status. Still going to put him in the 14th category there, but it's nice to see him have a victory here, and we're hoping that he can keep it up and move on into the next round and maybe get some headway finally, as he'll be facing Toxic Drake. And Toxic Drake and him will be a great matchup. Drake has just been aggressive, but Emulsifier, nothing gets underneath Emulsifier, so we'll see how that turns out. Next up, it's Generator against Blip. It's probably the most offensive control bot on the market against good old Generator. Generator's got a massive weapon. He's got huge spikes, and he's going to look to absolutely destroy Blip here. But Blip is going to try to tie it up, and he does a little bit, but it looks like we're going to be able to get some hits off from Generator every time Blip does that, and Blip knows it. Blip's changing up his strategy a little bit, but not as much as we'd like to see. He's trying to jam up Generator's weapon there, but Generator is just finding a way through that defense, and now he is hung up inside of Blip. Blip looks like he's trying to take control here, and he does. He flings him across the map, just absolutely decimating Generator, but Blip's still taking the brunt of the damage here, looking way worse for wear, and Generator up and over a saw blade doesn't seem to hardly bug him. Generator is still looking to just tie him up and push him, seemingly push Blip into elimination, but Blip is just, it's a struggle for control with this one. Yeah, I didn't expect that. I expected a flat-out assault coming from Generator, maybe one from Blip, considering Blip, wasn't going to be able to block him like he normally does other bots and overpower him. But right now we're looking at these two are definitely tangled up each other, and Blip has lost way more of his durability than Generator has. Generator is just absolutely taking control of this map. He's not backing off. He's not backing up. He's pushing against Blip from the get-go. You can see those tines are just absolutely stuck and tangled up amongst each other. And Blip is just throwing up and down his flip. You got 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. Can Blip pull this out? Will he end up turning the tide? We've seen Blip end up flipping a few of these vertical spinners with that top, just getting that lucky shot in. And I don't think we're going to see it here. We're seeing Blip just absolutely be controlled by Generator. Neither one of them's going, and Blip is not backing up. Blip is trying to now. He's trying to get out of it. It seems like he can't. These two bots, I believe, they're hung up at this point in time. They put so much force into each other trying to push, and now they're both trying to back up, but they're hung up on each other. They're not going to get out of this position, and they do. Blip gets underneath Generator, gives him one good solid flip. Can Blip get that elimination? If he can get Generator eliminated here, it'd be an upset of the day, and that's 30 seconds left on the clock to do it, and Blip is doing his best. He's trying, he's pushing, and Generator's up on the border, but he is not letting an inch move him into that elimination zone. We're seeing Blip here. He's looking for the pin. Generator does have a count. It's right there, and he's eliminated. Blip has done it. Blip has taken control. Just when you thought Blip was going to stay stuck to Generator, he ends up forcing him off into the elimination zone. With only seconds left on the clock, you have to give it to Blip. He's entering that +3 tier now. Generator is still going to be staying where he's at an 8, but we can expect to see Blip potentially all the way up into about a +7. We'll see. Witch Doctor will be moving out of their 6th spot indefinitely now. We still got a few more matches to go in the first round of this tournament. And we'll see who's going on to the second rounds next. Clyde and Mobius face off. Clyde all about doing that fire damage, looking for that overheat, and Mobius, he is so sure of himself with that full body shredder. Clyde versus Mobius. Mobius with no wins. Clyde holding a +3. He was a favorite coming into these tournament series, winning in the qualifying round 1, defeating Nice. But it looks like Clyde has fallen quite a bit in people's expectations, and he is just blasting Mobius with fire, but he can't hold on to Mobius because Mobius' spin intentionally sets him away from him. Mobius' biggest concern is making sure he doesn't get spun into a hammer or get spun into the walls or get spun into the elimination zone most of all. And it looks like Clyde might have Mobius hung up. Nope, Mobius breaks free. Clyde is looking to wedge him up against a wall. And if I'm a betting man here, I think Mobius might have disabled Clyde. Nope, Clyde is hung up in the wall. He's wedged. He's looking to get out, and he does. Mobius takes a pop shot, and it frees Clyde. Clyde's sitting upside down now, but his fire does not mind. He can still roll around just fine with it. He's moving toward Mobius. Mobius knocking Clyde back. Clyde coming back at him with that fire. Clyde is just not afraid to engage with the spinner top. He's hoping that he can throw him off his game. He's hoping that he can pin him up against a wall and put those flames to him, get him overheated. And boom, the hammer comes down on both of them. Mobius taking the grunt of it, but Clyde definitely took a good hammer shot and another hammer shot there. Clyde's on a countdown now. That hammer may have messed up the ability for Clyde to move around this arena. We might have an upset coming. Mobius, 0 points on the board. He might be overtaking Clyde at a +3. Can Mobius get his first point on the season? Mobius coming up. He says, I need the chance to win here, Clyde, so you're going to get out of my way. You don't have a chance. And Clyde is looking worse for the wear. Mobius is covered in soot. He's lost most of his blades, but Clyde is the one who has taken the brunt of the damage from that spinner, and Mobius frees Clyde. He says, this is too good of a fight. I'm not letting the referees count you out. And Clyde is almost done and over. And that's going to be just about it if that saw blade hits him. And that's it. Clyde's destroyed, and they're signaling he can't move. Mobius takes his first victory. Wow, Mobius moving up with a 1 point. Now we know Mobius, unless he can win this tournament, is not going anywhere. However, we now have Emulsifier moving into his first point in the second round. You have Mobius moving into his point in the second round. You have to wonder if there isn't a chance that one of these 0 pointers could end up becoming one of the top points in the pool by the end of this. And with that, we end our first round. We've got Pinpoint Redux. We got Pinpoint Redux versus Behemoth next. Blip versus Mobius. Nice versus Atomic 2. Toxic Drake versus Emulsifier. And we're going to get our bracket going. We're going to look at the scoreboard because this tournament is really heating up this round. We got some first pointers finally coming out of zeros. And really and honestly, if I'm a betting man, I'm taking Mobius over Blip. Because Mobius is not going to stay tangled up with Blip. He's going to hit him, and Blip's going to have to attack. Now, Blip does have the wedge, and he has the flip. He can keep Mobius up on his side and up on his back, but this is a chance right now for Mobius to take a stance against Blip and get in the semifinals and possibly even take the tournament. Pinpoint Redux and Behemoth. Behemoth he's iffy. If he comes out just slamming that bucket around, then he's not going to win. He never does. He never wins whenever he's just slamming his flip around. However, if he takes his time, if he lines up his shots and then he slams them into the air, we've seen Behemoth slam people into the top of this arena and come down and be destroyed on impact, one hit. So we know Behemoth has got the ability and the force needed to be able to get that double damage off the roof of the arena and off the floor. Nice and Atomic 2 is going to be an interesting matchup. Atomic 2 almost beat Nice last time they were out, but Nice had a lot more powerful weapon. Now, Nice is going to have to be a little bit more considerate about how he attacks. Atomic 2 is going to take every advantage he can to just fling Nice into the air as far as possible. Considering Nice's blades swing down, he's not going to have to worry too much about losing underneath Atomic. Atomic's going to suck him underneath himself. So we will see how far Atomic can fling Nice, or Nice can get the damage necessary quick enough to be able to go into our next round. Toxic Drake and Emulsifier is an exciting matchup, with Toxic Drake being on a roll here lately. I'm going to have to give the edge to Toxic Drake, but Emulsifier is definitely has to be looked at again, as he took Witch Doctor to absolute task in the last round. Witch Doctor almost didn't even look like they fought, but Witch Doctor has confirmed they do have an order of those forks in the final tournament. The Witch Doctor will be bringing in those forks, and they are looking for a win. They said that they want to be in the top of this bracket. They're not wanting to have to worry about pointing into the bottom three for the championship series. They're looking to take the win. So we're going to go ahead and get over to our scoreboard, and I'll see you there. Well, here we are at the scoreboard, and we're seeing Nice still holding in that top position, of course, at 21. Pinpoint Redux coming up at 12. Generator not gaining any points here, losing out in the first round to Blip. A surprising turn of events there, in my personal opinion. Generator still holding in that top 3. He's pretty secure there, and I don't feel that we'll be seeing Generator drop out of the championship rounds. Toxic Drake moving into the 4 position over Jackpot, sharing that +5. Behemoth underneath them at 6. He's a little bit more secure now getting into that championship round. Clyde is holding that +3. Witch Doctor is barely hanging in there with a +3. Now, they did lose this last match, but they have had a lot more success than Blip has, and Blip is holding that +3. Now, if Blip can make this win, it's not going to matter. Witch Doctor's going to move down to 9. If Atomic 2 can win, then we're talking about Atomic 2 moving up to 9 and Witch Doctor moving down to 10. So we'll see how those shape out. But of course, our dark horses here are Emulsifier and Mobius, who both got their first points. The only bot that does not have any points at this point in time is Wanhu, and I'm disappointed to say that, because Wanhu has always been a really great competitor, in my opinion, especially in all real life. But we're going to get back live to it. We're going to get back to Battle RC. We're in tournament number 4. We're in round 2, and let's see how this shapes out by the end of this tournament. We got another set of points on the line here. We could bring Drake, could come up to a 6. Jackpot has gone and out. Jackpot's just hoping to hang on there. Behemoth not to overtake him. Jackpot and Clyde are really the only two that have to worry. Witch Doctor, as well as Behemoth, going right for Pinpoint Redux. And Pinpoint Redux has got the undercharge of Behemoth. And what do we say whenever Behemoth is looking at doing all of that flipping up and down? He just does not win these matches. Pinpoint's trying to use the momentum that Behemoth has given him to send him over into the elimination area. However, now Behemoth is changing it up a little bit. He's starting to get a little bit more control. He's going to the side of Drake, and that's it. Pinpoint is done. Pinpoint Redux gets flung into the elimination corner. Behemoth moves on. Behemoth moves up to a +5. Pinpoint ends up staying at a +12. He's going to the championship round. But you gotta think that Pinpoint probably wanted to tie up with Nice a little bit here, try to get those 20 points. But Pinpoint is now out. Behemoth moves on to the next round, is on the semifinals. Behemoth's the first one going to the semifinals. He's going to be facing either Blip or Mobius, but first it's going to be Nice and Atomic 2. Atomic 2 has lost to Nice in the past, but Nice was able to use that higher powered spinner, and Atomic 2 did almost beat him during that. So we will see which of these two come out on top. It's going to be a rough ride for both of these. So we continue with tournament number 4. And they're off. Nice, just powering his way into Atomic 2. Looks like Atomic 2 is not wanting to take the damage that is being dealt, but he is Nice trying to put him on top of him. It looks like Nice may have taken a little bit of damage himself up against Atomic 2 with that ram, but that's it. Atomic 2's, they're reporting it's done. Nice's aggressive attack pays off once again. Another super aggressive attack from Nice. And we can see here that Atomic 2, they got underneath him a few times. They even flipped him. It's just they couldn't get underneath him that second time. Nice ended up meeting Atomic 2 as they brought up that wedge and just plowed through him. Nice is eliminated, and Atomic 2 is eliminated, and Nice moves on to the semifinals. We got to think that Nice has still got a great chance to win this tournament. He's going into the semifinals. He doesn't need the points. Atomic 2 did, and Atomic 2 did not get them. So let's get back to our live feed here. So Atomic 2 is going to end this tournament in a 2-point bracket. And now we've got Nice coming up with 22 points at the end of this round. Who's going to take on Nice? Is it going to be Toxic Drake or Emulsifier? We're going to find out next. Let's go. Toxic Drake is an interesting take on a flipper. He's very remindful of Bronco, and the Toxic Drake team has even said that they were inspired by Bronco, so it's no surprise there. That tail has got him in trouble a few times going into the elimination zone and not having a way to get out of it. But we are seeing Emulsifier getting absolutely decimated at the hammer. And Toxic Drake looking to get almost underneath Emulsifier, but Emulsifier is trying to get some damage off. He just can't get underneath Toxic Drake to pull them up into that, asymmetrical vertical spinner there. And Emulsifier is hung upside down, and Drake is going to let the count begin. Nope, Drake looked like they were getting the 10 count first. They said he can't do that, where he was holding him with the tail. It just would not work. And now Emulsifier is getting another chance, but Toxic Drake, a really good flip there. Emulsifier is almost done and over with in this match, I guarantee it. He has taken so many hits from the ground, and it is just, looks like Toxic Drake is wanting to get an elimination, but Emulsifier does too. Emulsifier going after Toxic Drake. Ooh, that tail almost hit. Is Emulsifier going to get the elimination here? Toxic Drake desperately trying to get out of the way, but Emulsifier has got him pinned. Emulsifier, I think, is hoping to get the elimination still, but Emulsifier, it's it. They're done. They overheated. They said their bot is non-responsive. Their bot is destroyed. Emulsifier almost won there, but Toxic Drake threw enough damage onto that bot, so whenever he ramped up his weapon, it just stopped working properly. You have to hand it to Toxic Drake moving into the semifinals to take on Nice. Wow, that is a match for the century right there, folks. Nice and Toxic Drake. I can't wait to see how this one turns out. We got Behemoth, and he's looking for his opponent now. It's Blip. It's Mobius, the spinner, versus the most non-aggressive control bot on the field. Will Blip turn around and show Mobius how a wedge is supposed to work? We'll see. It's Blip, it's Mobius, it's right here, it's live. It's the round 2. Who's going on to the semifinal round? That's my question. Blip having the opportunity here to get 10 points on the board and end up in the championship, but he's going to need that 10 points. He's coming in with 3 right now. If he can win this, he'll be 4. That might give him enough points to actually get in the top 8. Mobius, however, needs a win and needs a championship to get to where he needs to be. So let's hope that Mobius and Blip here coming out with aggression automatically, using that wedge to get underneath his opponent. But Mobius is hitting Blip every single time. And Blip is just sending Mobius into the air. It looks like Blip is having some control issues, which is perfect for Mobius as he spins that body around. Mobius is just taking too much damage here. Just ramming into Blip. Blip seems to be able to control the pace of this match. That's what makes me mad about Blip, is Blip can fight like this, and then you see him tie up with pinpoint redux and just stay in the middle of the arena. Like, Blip, you've got to quit playing so carefully. You've got talent, you've got strength. Use it, and he dives right into Mobius. Mobius has just taken advantage of Blip and his running into his sides there. It's not been a great show, but Blip is looking to eliminate Mobius. You could tell he doesn't want this to end by judge's decision. Mobius is dying slowly, but Blip flipping him around. This could be it for Mobius. It's done. That last wedge flip there, it knocked something loose. Mobius' team is signaling that he is done. Blip moves up to a +4. Mobius will end tonight with only a +1. That gives him one more chance to get a qualifying win. However, the way this tournament is shaping up, it looks like there will be plenty of +10s that will be able to take in. So one more tournament, one more opportunity to win for Mobius. Blip goes on to the semifinals. Let's go ahead and get our scoreboard going. Let's take a look at our bracket first. With our bracket wrapping up the second round, we got Behemoth and Blip versus Nice and Toxic Drive. Seemingly every semifinal we've just about had a flipper in there. Now we've got 3 flippers. Nice is the only damage machine in this semifinal, and Nice is, well, they're hefty. Now, I'm not sure who's going to win between Behemoth and Blip. It's up in the air for me. I think Behemoth has probably got the advantage just because of his size and his ability. But Behemoth has really been attack heavy with that scoop instead of with a slam. And I have to think that Behemoth may not be ready for Blip if Blip comes out aggressive. Nice and Toxic Drake is going to be a fun match. As Nice is going to get Drake pulled underneath him. Last time these two met up, Nice went in for the win, but I think Toxic Drake may know what's going on. He may take him out. So let's go ahead and go check out our scoreboard. We are coming up on our semifinal round, and this is what his scoreboard looks right now. 1 is Nice, 2 Pinpoint Redux, 12 Generator with 8, Toxic Drake with 6, coming in 4th. 5th is Jackpot, 5 points, Behemoth with 5 points, and 6th Blip coming up from 10, 11, into number 7. Witch Doctor moving down to 8. Clyde being eliminated from the championship tournament as of right now. He's still got +3 points, but he has not been making the most of them. He is in 9th. He got eliminated in the first round here against Mobius, giving Mobius his first point, and I'm just not confident that Clyde needs to be in the final championship. So let's go ahead and get back to our semi-final round here of Battle RC. First up is going to be Behemoth. It's going to be Blip. And then we're going to follow that up with Nice and Toxic Drake. These four will go head-to-head to determine who will go into the championship round of the tournament number 4. Who will end up with that 10-point catch? Will Nice end up with 30 points altogether here? Will Behemoth end up with at least 10 points to speak of? Will Blip surprise the world once again and come out victor? Will Toxic Drake, just the absolute Cinderella story of the year, come out on top? Let's get into this. So first up, it's Behemoth, it's Blip. Let's go. This is going to be an exciting fight, I'm sure. Behemoth, though, is just, there's no rhyme or reason behind Behemoth. There's no strategy behind Behemoth. Behemoth just kind of does. Behemoth just driving into Blip and just using him like a ramp. Behemoth is taking the brunt of this damage, and here we go again, just him flipping himself up into those motions with his hydraulics there, and Blip seems to just be having the easiest time with Behemoth here. I think Blip has been getting underneath Behemoth well. He's flipping him up into the air. Behemoth is so heavy, he's got a lot of weight, and Blip is looking for that early elimination. Can he get it? He knows that there's a risk of elimination whenever it comes to fighting Behemoth here. So he's going to take the elimination himself, and it looks like, no, Behemoth ends up escaping. Can Behemoth keep the escape, though? And Blip sends him up again. Why can't it? Blip just has to be getting frustrated. He says, yeah, I've got him right here. All I've got to do is get him in the elimination zone. And Behemoth drags it back out into the middle, using that lift actuator of his to try to inflict some kind of damage on Blip. Just not getting through them. Behemoth almost torn down to nothing. He's been getting thrown all over this arena, and that's it for Behemoth. That heavy weight, it works for the defense. It helps you whenever it comes to your health, but whenever it comes down to being thrown across an arena, the gravity of the situation, get it? Gravity of the situation is heavy with that one. It's very heavy with that one. So here we go. Behemoth taking a step back. It's looking like Behemoth, that'll move Behemoth and keep him into +5, but that'll move Blip into +5, and we'll place Blip above Jackpot and Behemoth, which means that Blip will end up in at a number 5 position by the end of this poll. Like, I'm taken aback by that. I thought that Blip for sure was going to end up having one of the worst records. He was coming into this tournament with only 1 point, and now only 2 points, and now he's looking at potentially qualifying for the championship. He is technically qualified right now if the tournament was to end today, so we'll see how this goes. Next up, it's Nice versus Toxic Drake, who will meet Blip in the championship round. Blip really got a good look at the draw against old Behemoth apparently there, because Blip just handled him, but Toxic Drake has got a tall order up against Nice here, and Nice is looking for his 3rd win of the series. Just 3rd win, that's all. He's obviously the odds-in favorite to win. He has lost here. Pinpoint Redux ended up taking the championship last time, so we return number 4, and Nice dives right into Toxic Drake. Toxic Drake throws Nice end over end. Can Toxic Drake keep this control and manage to keep that blade spun down? It doesn't look like it. That blade is getting spun up rather rapidly. He's looking for the shot here, though, and Toxic Drake just could not come down with it. Nice. He gave it all he could. He just seemed to not be able to find that back end of Nice and throw him using that. Meeting those blades was just too much for his machine to handle. And Toxic Drake goes down. So Toxic Drake will end the night with a +6, but we'll see him again in the next tournament and in the championship series by the look of it, because Toxic Drake has done very well this match. We're going to go ahead and get moved over. As our semifinal round concludes, we can put Blip versus Nice, and Blip versus Nice is going to be an interesting one because Blip is essentially a wedge. However, Blip can take massive amounts of damage rather rapidly, and Nice is great addition out. So let's look at our scorecard. Let's see what our scoreboard reads for going into our last round here. And as we begin to wrap up here, we look at the scorecard. Going in this championship round, tournament 4 of 5. We got Nice hanging in with first, Pinpoint Redux at 12, Generator at 8, Toxic Drake at 6, Blip at 5, Behemoth at 5 points, Jackpot at 5 points, Witch Doctor hanging in there with 3, Clyde at 9. Clyde really needs to come out and win. If Witch Doctor takes another first round elimination, we might even see Witch Doctor leave the championship series altogether, because they've hung in there, but it's only because of these 3 points, and that's not very much. There's still a lot of competitors left. You can take that number 8 spot, even the number 6 up to about the number 5 spot. Blip is looking at collectively coming up to a possible +7 at the end of this, which will almost tie him with Generator, putting him in the 3rd spot, moving Drake down into the 4th spot. but Nice could win and come out with 30 points. 30 solid points on this tournament. Just absolute odds-in favorite to win. So let's see who's up next. Well, we got Nice and we got Blip. It's time for our championship round of Tournament 5. Tournament 4 of 5. Let's go. And Blip here is just hoping to be able to get Dice turned over and up against a wall like he has seen his opponents do in the past. Blip is good at controlling a match, so he just might have the victory here. And Nice collides with Blip. Blip keeps him in the air, but Nice lands with those blades facing him. If Blip can keep Nice from touching with those blades, though, Blip can win this, and it's looking as much in Blip's favor as it is in Nice's. Nice has got the damage output, but Blip is really trying to make sure that Nice gets hung up. Blip is destroyed. His team is signaling they can't move, and again, a nice quick victory for Nice. Nice takes home the championship once again. You have to wonder who's going to stop him in the championship series. That now makes 3 tournaments in the tournament of 5 that Nice has came out the winner of. If he doesn't win the championship, next year you have to imagine will be his year to win. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. We're going to go ahead and get to our winner. Thank you for tuning in to Mortal Night Gaming Tournament Series 1 of Battle RC, where we crown another champion. Tournament 4, Nice. Congratulations on their 3rd win. That bumps them up to 30 points overall for the series and puts Blip at +7. So Blip has secured his chance in the championship, barring catastrophe from happening in the next round. We will see you there. We'll see you at tournament number 5. Be safe, be humble. We only got 2 more tournaments left until the championship is done and over with. So expect to see our best of the losers match coming up before not too long after the 5th tournament, but before our championship. You guys be safe, be humble, be good, and remember to check out Battle RC on Steam and their Discord server where we find all these fantastic bots. Thank you guys so much. Be safe, be well, enjoy your day, and be nice to each other. Peace.